Hello and welcome. I want to make sure that I can see everyone. And if you are on Zoom in the Zoom room or in the chat, please do say hello. We are here, we are live, and I want to make sure you guys could see me, hear me. I'm just going to see if I can go into our group and see all the messages coming through. All right. Yes, I see Tanya. Hello, Tanya. How are you doing? Say where you're from. Thank you for joining us here at Rise the Healing Summit. And so I want to welcome all of you here today. Give me just one moment to see if we've got, we've got Deborah, we've got Mardell, we've got Dorothy. Hello from Dallas. Very nice. I know more people are going to be tuning in today, as today is our second day of Rise the Healing Summit. So I want to welcome you here. And, it's time. It's time to reclaim, ignite, strengthen, and evolve. And that's what Rise the Healing Summit is all about. And I hope yesterday, when you got to connect with some of our speakers that we had yesterday, who were just amazing. Even our musician in the VIP room, he was just phenomenal, just helping us become more receptive, reducing our stress that we hold on to each and every day, and really helping us get to manage our problems, our challenges, our obstacles a lot easier is what Rise wants to help you do with our speakers. And that's how we've set it up so that you can reach the potential of what you want to see in your life. So let's just kick off and share where you're joining in from. I see Mardell, from Virginia. Tanya's from Texas. Okay, so we've got a couple of people from Texas. And let me just see in my Zoom room. I'm trying to multitask here. So I'm going to turn that chat on. Okay. There we go. Hello, Donna. Lisa, good to see you. So glad to have you here, and others who are here. We're so glad to see you from Knoxville, Tennessee, not too far from me. Love Knoxville. All right, so now remember, the more engaged you are in the chat, the more comments that you put, the more energy will flow together today throughout the event. Okay, and the way we want this energy to flow is that we create this sacred unity amongst each of us. And we allow that energy to flow to uplift us, to take us to new levels, new heights, new growths, new opportunities in our lives. Let me go ahead and introduce myself. I am Deepal Shah. I am your guide to transformation and the mastermind behind Rise the Healing Summit. I help empaths like yourself ignite the healer within by teaching my step-by-step process to quantum body awakening modality. If you have ever dreamed of starting your own spiritual business, I'm your go-to expert, making it a breeze for you. My passion is to empower empaths and highly sensitive souls to step up into their power and fulfill their purpose. Today, I want to congratulate each and every one of you for being here, showing up as you, taking time, being present. The power that you exude is something that we all seem to feel, sometimes that we feel disempowered or at a loss. But it's the power you were born with, the power we are re-inviting into our lives and stepping into that authentic self each and every moment of our lives. That part of us that maybe we lost along the way. Today, you claim that power back. And I want you to write power in the comments right now. Go ahead and put power. Let's get that energy moving. I want you to put in the comments power. If you want your power back, you're tired of people taking it away from you, I want you to go ahead and put power. Yes, thank you, Tanya. Thank you, thank you. Go ahead and put power. Yes, Donna Lisa. Yes, Susie. Put power back. We're ready to rewire to reclaim, to reset, take back our rights, take more control of our lives, create abundance, prosperity, purpose with that power. Write down, what else do you want? Yeah, thank you, Mardell. Thank you, Nicole, Crystal, Phyllis. Power. Now, what I want you to write down, what is it that you want to create today? Now that you got your power back, what are we going to create? What do you want to create in your life right now? Go ahead and put that in the comments. What do you want to create? I love creating things. Welcome, Tyler. Welcome. What do you want to create in your life? To continue to create the domino effect of peace and love worldwide by sharing our beautiful light and spirits. Thank you, Donna Lisa. What else do you want to create? What do you want to create personally? What do you want to create for your family? What do you want to create in your relationships? Okay, so go ahead and put that down. The more you share, the more the energy flows, the more the universe listens, and the more comes to you. So don't be shy and put down what you want. Let it be. Perfect health. Thank you, Phyllis. Follow through to create my vision. Yes, Dorothy. There's so much that we want, and I know there are many more of you that want something in your life. You want something to change. And so that's what this summit is all about. Life has its twists and turns. I'm not going to deny that. But you have this incredible power to rise. And you have to believe that you are much stronger, braver, and more powerful than you truly believe that you are. And I believe in you. So I encourage you, for those of you who are joining us live and those of you who will be watching the replay, to be fully engaged, be present, and take a seat in the front row. We have something special for you. If you are not in the Zoom room, we invite you to the VIP access. Just like me, I know you like being in the front row. You like soaking up the wisdom from the geniuses. You want to even maybe speak to these geniuses. You'll feel their energy, their insights, and their brilliance in ways you never thought possible. Yesterday was just spectacular as we connected with the speakers, spoke to them live. I used to dream about speaking to these speakers. And here we are this week, bringing them to you. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that no other summit offers. I've not seen it. I've been to other summits. And so if you want this opportunity to connect with the speakers, I highly encourage you to join the VIP access. Your transformation is even more intensified as you sit in the front row. Your journey feels even richer when you get that opportunity to pull back the curtain and engage directly with the speakers, the musicians, and the network with like-minded people. We invite you to join right now to unlock your VIP access with 20 bonuses from our speakers. You get that 1 to 2 p.m. behind the curtain, 15-minute discovery call with me live so that we can channel, tap into your purpose, get messages from the guides, whatever it is that you would like to tune into. That experience is going to be unique to you. Lifetime of recordings. And of course, the mission of R.I.S.E is to give 50% of the proceeds to contribute to a children's scholarship fund. And you heard from our founder and CEO of VRX Foundation yesterday. So let's support our children. Let's help them discover their dreams. Let's nurture their brains and empower them to rise. It's only $97. And I know you can support the R.I.S.E Summit and R.I.S.E Children Scholarship Fund. So sign up right now. Tiffany has put the link for all of you on Facebook. If you would like to join us in the VIP room, we also have a special for everyone today. We have three special gifts that we are going to be sending to you in the replay emails. So be sure to look at your replay emails because those gifts are going to be in there. They're free gifts from 3 different people, okay? And they wanted to offer these gifts to you guys. So we are going to spread the love. So let's go ahead and set our intention for the today. What do you wish that you want today? It's 11:11, guys. Set your intention right now. I don't do this on purpose. I don't look at the clock. It just happens. Our angels are standing by. Set your intention right now. And so it is. For those of you who will be joining us 1 to 2 p.m. in the VIP behind the scenes, each one of you, I want to make sure that that for those of you who do want to join, make sure you have the link. If you do not have the VIP link, please put link in on Facebook if you are joining us on Facebook. But also for those of you who are in the VIP 1 to 2 p.m., do not eat. Today is a very special process for you guys, and make sure that you are on an empty stomach. Okay, so I'm warning you right now. All right, so today I'm going to start off and kick off with a discover the truth about your inner senses. Okay, and I love this topic because let's talk about your inner senses and how you can rise by using your inner senses. You guys have heard of clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and many other clairs. However, I believe that everyone has 8 clairs, not just 6. We all have 8 inner senses. For some of us, some senses are stronger and others are a little dim, right? They don't spark as quickly. One that is the most common is knowing, right? How many of you feel like you at least have a knowing? Put that in the comments. Put knowing in the comments. Okay? You have a knowing. I know each and every one of you do. Yeah. Donna Lisa says yes. Knowing. How many of you have a knowing? Yes. Thank you, Susie. Yep. And I see everyone is saying that they at least have a knowing. Yeah. You know when you just feel if something isn't right, if your child is coming down with something, if someone is lying to you. Yes? Yeah, we know that. We're able to we're able to have this knowing because it comes through our gut feeling. Every time I ask somebody, what is your greatest sense? They're like, I know. And you're like literally pointing at your gut to me. Because that's where you experience these experiences. But what if you can open yourselves up to more information? How would that feel? What if you can open up to more? Do you want to open up to more? I want you to say open up more if you do. Okay? If you want to open up more, I want you to claim it. I want you to say it. Okay? Open up more. Just put that down. Open more. Okay? Let's make it 2 words. Thank you very much, Crystal. Thank you. Yes. So what if we can turn on other inner senses so that you can see, you can hear, you can feel, you have empathy. I mean, you're already empathic, so that may not already be a problem, but for some people, it may. You want more smell and have more direction in your life, right? That's what all of these inner senses do. They give you direction because the only reason you want these senses on is maybe because you feel brain fogged sometimes And what I mean by that is you feel disassociated with your body. Your head's doing one thing, your body's doing another. Yeah. If you resonate with what I'm saying, guys, go ahead and make comments, right? Because I want to know what you're feeling. Maybe you feel like you're in directions, in all directions, and you're being pulled like a puppet. And you're trying to multitask all the time. You're driving and texting, right? You're driving and talking on the phone. You're trying to cook a meal and work at the same time. Maybe you're doing multiple things. But along the day, you're trying to find answers to problems. Even if you don't see it as a problem, it could be a small problem that you don't really reflect, like, oh, hey, this is a problem. You just do, right? People depend on you whether or not, like whether you are a working person, you are a mom, you're a wife, you feel the pressure of daily life. You feel like they don't see you as a human, right? Do you guys feel that way? People don't see me as human. I get asked by my clients, are you cloned? But you feel like you don't feel as confident. And sometimes you feel easily manipulated. And what happens is sometimes people try to change your mind and make you think you're crazy. Right? And you are going crazy because you know what? Your inner senses are not all turned on. So you're not crazy, but you're going crazy. But that doesn't have to happen. You can be in control and not get so drained by the things in your life or the people in your life. Yes, let's claim that. I'm not being drained by the people in my life anymore because it's mainly the people. It's not the things that happen, it's the people involved in the process. Right? Our inner senses is how we sense things around us, how we understand, how we perceive and decipher information, and then we take action, how we make our decisions, how we get triggered, right? That anger, I know you have suppressed anger. You may not show it. And some of you may. It's easy to lash out at people and then regret it and feel the guilt and shame and embarrassment and whatever that spiral takes you down. But do you ever wish that your senses were stronger than what they are right now? Yes? Put yes in the comments if you wish your senses were stronger than what they are right now. If that knowing was stronger, if that hearing or feeling, right? Yeah, thank you, Crystal. Crystal, you know what? You need to get an award for always being the first one to answer, it seems, on Facebook. And Donna, Lisa in the Zoom. We're gonna give you an award for sure. All right. Yeah. So remind me to send you a free gift, okay? So make sure you guys email me at deepulsha@anandaforlife.com, Crystal and Donna Lisa, right? I love the energy when we can have that flow in the comments, okay, guys? Because your answers matter. You matter. You need to be seen and you need to be heard. And I'm here to do that for you. And it all starts with starting to use your inner senses. Don't be afraid. There's no fear needed here. You're in a beautiful space where we all support you. Okay. Now, we want our senses to be stronger. Why? I'll give you a reason. I always did because I knew that if my senses were strong, I could heal myself, manifest faster, and trust the choices that I make for myself and my family without having other people change my mind and make decisions for me. Yes. Hallelujah. Yes. right? I remember ever since I was a little girl, I thought psychics were the coolest thing, right? How they got information, how they were able to just get some information by looking at somebody or reading a card or channeling with those who passed over. I wanted that for myself, but never knew how I would even get there. I thought they were born like that. I thought, wow, I don't know, maybe God just put them on this planet, like zap them in. I don't know. Then I started learning about energy healing. At almost 40 years old, I discovered energy healing, and I'm a biochemist. I think they forgot to teach me about energy, what energy truly is, that we are all energy, and everything around me is energy. The only thing I knew was solid liquids and gases, right? The molecules. But this is so important. And the more I opened up, the more I started to receive information about other people's health, their root causes, and how to get them to heal. And I started to see and talk to the dead people, just like I had manifested years ago. I had just put it out there. I'm like, ooh, I'd love to be psychic. Who knew it would happen at 40, right? When you're a kid, you're like, oh, it's so cool. But you have no idea what you're putting out in the universe. I know it's frustrating when you can't tap into your own body and get answers that you need for your health issues, for your abundance blocks, for your spiritual growth. I myself was getting frustrated with what I could not do rather than what I could. I kept asking my guides and wondering when that day would come when I would finally be able to see things. And I'm going to tell you a quick story if we have time. Well, we have about a few minutes, but I walked down the stairs one time in the apartment we were renting, and all of a sudden I see this flash of an old man and it with a cane and a little girl running by. And I took a second look. I was like, oh my gosh. And it's like when we least expect it, these things happen. And I know many of you are healers, intuitives, therapists, and you want to grow your inner senses. But sometimes we have that push-pull effect. Like, I want it so bad, I want it right now, and it's not happening, and it gets you frustrated, right? So I'm going to give you the tools, okay, that I discovered for the exact process I use to awaken my own senses and how you can do that for yourself. Are you guys ready? So I want you to write these down, all right? Yeah, I know, Mardell. You want to hear your angels and your guides in a way that you can understand them better. I get it. I'm here for you because I get where you're coming from. I used to get frustrated because I couldn't hear them. So I know. All right. So number one, own your superpower. Okay. Whatever senses or abilities that you already have, I want you to own them. Like, say, I own this. And once you acknowledge the ones that you already have, I want you to actually own all of your superpowers and say, I have 8 Clairs. And I want you to say it every day. I have 8 Clairs. I have 8 inner senses and they are open. Okay. And your body's going to start to shift. Your mind is going to start to shift. It's going to start to open up more. Number 2 is manifest. Set your direct intentions. Okay. So set your direct intentions is number 2. Set your direct intentions as to what you would like to manifest when your clairs are open. Okay? Because now you've already owned the superpower that my clairs are open. Now I'm going to set a direct intention. Third, let go the expectation and let the universe take care of it. No more pushing and pulling. Number 4, allow yourself to receive. I know you are givers and you may feel guilty for receiving, but it's your time to receive. Notice the little nuances. And 5, don't judge what comes. Just allow and don't worry if you don't know what it means. Don't get tied up in that. Number 6, be grateful for what does come through. Every little bit of it and every lot of bit of it. Oh, I don't know if that's even a word. That came out really funny. All right. And number 7, keep asking for more. There is plenty on this planet, my friends. There is plenty. So ask for more. So we have about 4 minutes left, and I want you to know that you can awaken your senses. You can. We have to release the limiting beliefs. We have to really turn off those limiting beliefs and overcome the fear of something bad that might be happening, right? I know a lot of people feel a little bit afraid of tapping into their senses, but there's nothing to fear, okay? So it's time, right? It's time to open up these senses. And I would love to do a process, but this process will happen in the VIP room where we're going to tune into these processes. But what I do want to share with you is that when your senses are strong and you're open to receiving, it's going to help you heal your body quicker, get the answers that you want to know immediately, and it's going to save you time and energy. I know it has saved me tons of time and energy over the years with my kids, with my husband, with myself. And so today I want to invite you to come and play in the quantum field of immersing yourself in learning to heal your body. It is a sacred 3-day immersion, self-healing immersion with me, where I will share with you my exact process, my processes of powerful grounding techniques, clearing blocks at quantum speed, understanding various energy systems, including the Hara, clearing energy from energy vampires, which is going to be a bonus. You will be practicing how to receive information and understand it through various practice sessions. In addition, you will learn how to become your own body whisperer to heal whether you have chronic health issues, acute concerns, or if you just want to find a way to have more energy and manage your stress. The self-healing immersion is taking place June 5th, 6th, and 7th, and you get 6 hours of live learning from me. I promise you that your body's going to thank you, and I guarantee that this 3-day self-healing immersion is 100% money back guarantee. It's 14 days money back guarantee. And if you sign up in the next 48 hours, just for you here at R.I.S E, and I think Tiffany put the link. Okay. Tiffany, will you put the link for the, you put the link for the VIP. Can you also put the link for the self-healing immersion 3 days? And this way, if people want to sign up, I am giving you 48 hours to receive 2 of my most popular bonuses. One is the house clearing ceremony. Okay, it's the spiritual house clearing ceremony and the karmic healing program. I work with karma from an ancient practice. And this is the place to start. It's $3,500 in free gifts and bonuses. And in each of the programs, you will see immediate results to start accelerating your life in the direction that you want. And I would love to see you guys rise and come join the immersion now. So don't wait to rise, take action and watch how you can rise in just 3 days as you learn more and more about yourself and your intuition and your potential. All right, it is time. It is time to bring on our wonderful speakers and guests for today. Are you guys ready? Go ahead and put ready in the comments if you are ready to connect with our speakers for today. I want to see all the readies in the comments. So ready, says Donna Lisa. Susie, so ready. Thank you. Yes, yes, I know you guys are ready. The time has come to reclaim, ignite, strengthen, and evolve with Keith Leone. I am so excited to introduce you to my mentor, colleague, and publisher, Keith Leone. With his guidance and compassion for helping others rise, anyone can reach new heights. Keith is a 9-time award-winning, 11-time international best-selling author, and 7-time award-winning filmmaker. His recent film released called The Inside Effects, How the Body Heals Itself, stars Dr. John DeMartini, Lynn McTaggart, Dr. Bradley Nelson, J.P. Sears, Kyle Cease, and so many more. His movie is now being made into a TV series. A book with the same name was released in tandem with the film last July, and it was a #1 international bestseller in 9 countries. Keith and his wife are co-owners for 20 years now of a book publishing company, and they publish what they call books that make a difference. Keith is going to share with us about his latest documentary that has captured millions of viewers, The Inside Effects, How the Body Heals Itself. Welcome, Keith.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Hello, I am great. How are you?
Oh, doing well.
Wonderful. So great to have you here, Keith. And I'm so excited to talk about this film. But the first question I have for you is, can you tell us about your journey to rise?
Um, so first of all, when during our video was perfect, but it's kind of holding up a little bit, skipping. Is it doing that on your end?
A little bit, not too bad.
Okay. Yeah, every 4 seconds. So you'll know what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
it is.
All right. So tell you about like what inspired the film.
Well, I want to know how did you rise? How did you come to where you are? Because surely you had some challenges, right, along the way of your life, in your life,
Right.
and from childhood or wherever. And how did you rise and become where you are today?
Okay. It froze up right when you said rise. So I was like, what? Share what now? Okay. The the way that I was able to rise was with the support of mentors. I had a manic depressive mother out of bed. I had no father. I had no siblings. I lived nobody who could support me in information, learning, an example, right? So
Yeah.
I looked to mentors, and at one point moved us to a much nicer neighborhood, and we barely ate, but she wanted me to have a nice neighborhood. And because of that, some of my friends had very successful fathers. I would just ask them a lot of questions, ask my friends' fathers. Some of them took me under their wing. I call them my rich dads, and and they put me on the path and helped me realize that getting mentors along be valuable.
Yeah, I think that's very important. I think we all need one, and it doesn't matter how progressed you are or what age you are. I think it's so important to have somebody that you can go to and ask questions. And you've been my mentor throughout this whole process of bringing Rise together. So I
Yeah.
want to thank you for that. You were my cheerleader, and I just can't thank you enough. And so let's talk a little bit about this film. Tell us about your film and what inspired it.
Mm, will do. So when I was about 7 years old, my received a diagnosis from a doctor, and he had the audacity that she had like 2 weeks to live, and she should get her affairs in order, be goner. And so she told him she was going to come back in 2 weeks again, and like we'll see where we are at then. And he was like, okay, whatever. Uh, and so she came back 2 weeks later, and they did all the tests, and cancer was completely gone, like
Wow.
spread all throughout her body in a way that 2 weeks to live, and now completely gone. And so I asked, how did you do that? And she said, anything that's been created, we can uncreate. With God, all things are possible. And that really stuck with me. with me. So then I ended up having a chronic pain for 20 plus years. And then I met Dr. Karen Can, a friend of mine named Lisa Warner. Those two women helped me to reverse this chronic pain thing that I had for so long.
Wow.
And so I always had a plan to do like 20s and 30s. I was going to be a rock star. I played music. I was in bands. I sang with Stevie Wonder and Ben Vereen, a lot of very legendary players. The list is long. So I felt like I kind of did that. Then 40s was best-selling author and speaker, and that's what a lot of people know me for, right? Best-selling
Right.
author and speaker. Along the way, we became publishers, and that went so well that I found myself 50s and realized that 50s was always film director, make film. And I was mid 50s and I was like, oh no, I'm supposed to be making films. So what will I make a film about? Because I'm going to make one. And then that's when I thought about my own healing and all the people over the years because of my aunt's story that I had and asked, right? Asked
Yeah.
how did they heal without traditional methods? And so that's really what path. Yeah.
I love it. I love the inspiration behind it. I, and I feel like everyone should, I know some people like before I even started energy healing, practicing it and tapping into who I was, I always I always wondered and I was skeptical about energy healing until I had my own revelation and experience, and I was like, wow. And I never looked back after that. So I could see how, how you were inspired to make a movie about, the inner body and let people know that our body can heal itself. I think we forget that. And so I have seen the full cast of the movie. And how did you get all those well-known people to be in this film? How did you choose them?
Yeah. Well, the most interesting thing is, as probably the first 50 books that we published were functional medical practitioners, were acupuncturists, were doctors. And so I really felt like I knew a lot about the body and how it heals. But when I reached out to these people, I reached out to all these experts. Uh, the way that I did it, a few of them already. So I knew Karen, I knew Lisa, Dr. John DeMartini's dear friend of mine. Well, since my Who Do You Think You Are? Discover the Purpose of Your Life book, he's been a dear friend. So I reached out to the ones I knew first, and then I asked, now that you know the questions I'm going to be asking you, like, who do you know that I should? So that's one thing that I did. Who do you know? And then another thing I did is something that I teach my authors because I mentor all of our authors, um, and that is called. So if you make it so easy for someone to say yes, Pate, then they will say yes. And if you ask it in the smallest amount of words humanly possible,
Yes.
now it's double easy. It's easily, and they can say yes easily. So how do you do that? That's what I teach. Is like this. It's helped so many people to grow their business and
Yes.
get people to say. And so the most interesting thing about this though was most in this movie I didn't have a relationship with already. Some of them were my authors, some of them that's a small handful, and then the rest I didn't know. And these are really well-known people that are and um, out there telling the truth about what's really going on. And but the right asking worked, so I got a chance to really show myself again that this works. Because after a while, you teach for so long, you're just like you don't get to see it in action.
No,
So
and I
yeah,
got to
and
see you in action because you helped me do that same thing that you just said,
yeah,
right?
I
Be
taught you that.
short.
Yep, that's how you got a
Yeah.
few people on here on this series. And so getting yes answers again from people I didn't know. So the
Yeah.
point I wanted to say is you're on the right path
Yeah.
when all you're receiving is yes answers. And it's, can I interview you for an hour on camera to be in
Yeah.
a film? Right? So,
I love it. I love it. Yeah, so interviewing all those experts, what were some of your key takeaways and how can we watch the movie?
all right. Doctors, scientists, researchers, health advocates, right? And they all talked about subjects like, do we create our own ill health ourselves? Very important to ask, right? Does our current society promote sickness and why? Another question. We talk about the mind connection, which I think everybody's interested in, probably in this group, uh, and so much more. Again, you know, having owned the publishing company and all those doctors, I really thought that I knew a lot, but uh, I knew what was out there. I thought I knew all about the body, but my key takeaways, um, and learning how a billionaire named Rockefeller, which I had heard of him about and money back in the day, but what I didn't know is that he fully hijacked the medical system via back
Huh.
then, and so that was something really, really interesting that on the way, and and then just how real thought viruses are. So I knew like I had something I call stinking thinking, or you know, it happens as we believe, and like visualization, and like I knew all of that, but I hadn't really heard thought virus until Lisa Warner brought it into the movie, and that was so powerful way to encompass all the things that I had learned, to be able to put that in thought virus. Thought viruses are absolutely real, right?
Yeah.
And explain a lot. Like, why did I do all of this stuff and then still I have the appearance of being sick? Did you believe like if someone coughed on you? Yes. Well, there you go. So we get into that like big time.
Wow.
And so the movie, because the TV series, we're selling the TV streaming service at Cannes Film Festival in France. Uh, so because of that, I pulled down the movie like from everywhere. But what I'm going to give to just your group. So for the next few weeks, you can watch it. Go to tinyurl.com. That's the one where you get to make tiny URLs. URL. I see it says unstable. Tinyurl.com for TIE film. So the inside effects.
I think
TIE
Tiffany,
film.
yeah, I think Tiffany has the link. Tiffany, if you don't mind putting the movie link, because I know some people are asking that they want to
Yeah.
watch it. So,
Yeah. So
uh,
only people with that link can, that's
okay,
just you guys.
per- perfect. Awesome. All right. Yeah, I think they're excited about watching the movie. All right. So tell us
Awesome.
about the book. So
Mm,
there's also a book. How
yeah.
do we grab a copy of
So
that?
I so the whole thing about the movie is I would meet people, learn all of that. But in the movie, I had to stay very general to certain questions, right?
Yeah,
And the last few questions were the like, what do I do now that I'm on board and I have all this information? What do I do? All of the answers from the experts were kind of general and was like, it was great, but I felt like I need to give people their next step after they've watched the movie. Very specific diagnosis, and they wanted like, what do I do next? Um, I want people and get those answers. And I had 29 experts in the movie, but still I knew so many more people that I couldn't put in the movie, right?
I can
And
imagine.
so I was like, how can I introduce the world to the people that I know that can help them, and especially with very specific diagnoses. So each of the people has a different thing that they worked through and got to the other side and had a miracle. And so I got all of those people and interviewed them and asked them like what questions about how did they heal? What exactly did they do? Like that type of things. People to be able to identify by feeling into the story and be able to hire their mentors, their people that would help them get through it. So to not only just get the information, but to reach out to them and work with them. So, so the book is like the next step after the movie, and it's to introduce you to the person you identify that you would like to work through potential things with. Yeah. And so if you go to the insideeffectsbook.com, the inside.com, there's a landing page there. You buy the book through there for 99 cents for the Kindle. I'm leaving 9 cents forever. I didn't jack it up after one day like every other publisher. I want this information to get out. 99 cents Kindle forever, and then
Okay.
only 9.99. So you can get bonuses from people in the movie and book also, and for that low price. So yes,
Okay.
at insideeffectsbook.com.
All right, awesome. I'm just letting my assistant know to make sure to put the links in the Facebook page for the book. So everyone who wants to grab this book, which I know is amazing, you're going to get so much out of it. Go ahead and grab your copy now if you don't already have it. And I know one of my mentors, she's an expert in the movie, Dr. Karen
Yep.
Kahn, and she has published a few books with you. How does it
Right.
work with your publishing company?
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of
Ah,
people here want to write a book.
right. Um, we we're a full service publishing company, so we can work wherever you're at. So if you
Okay.
already have a manuscript but you need editing, uh, book cover, all of that, setup in Amazon, whatever you need, we specifically publish books that make a difference. So that means you feel better when you put it down than when you picked it up. Better when you put it down than when you picked it up, or it's not in our catalog. So we don't do any books like or mystery, war, politics, like none of
Right.
that, right? These are all feel oh, it's better now that I read this book. So that's our perfect match is that person. And then when we publish someone, it's typically someone who did our You Speak It book program. So speak the book in 7 phone calls, not have to write a thing. Then we start from the beginning and go all the process, and then we will publish that book. So because we worked from the beginning with them, it's the kind of edit layout we like, everything because we did it for you, right?
Right.
Uh, people is, hey, I have this manuscript. I can call it what I call it done for now, meaning I'm fine with it off to the professionals. And for that, we do a manuscript evaluation and $49, and it's everything you need to know. Feed editors, they go through it. They give you a sample edit, meaning a couple
Yeah.
pages to show you the questions we would ask. You get valuable feedback about the book from really top-notch professional team. And then they also give you the quote for what it and proofreading. And so when you and a timeline, and they also the timeline, how long it would be. So if you feel into all of that, and then you say, let's work together, I'm going to hire you, then we credit back the 250 you paid up front. That was just decided not to work with us. You just got all that great information feedback, and yeah, so that's how we work with people who are like writers who want to write their own book. And during the process of editing, we get to know each other. You get to know our team gets to know the book. And then if it's a match for publishing, then either you would ask us, you, and then we'd have that conversation. So that's the way that we do it,
It's
as
very
opposed to,
intimate.
yeah, very intimate.
Yes. I love that. You say, well, you know what? There's four types of publishers. What are they?
Oh boy, this is a whole half an hour. So I'll
It's
do the
short.
snapshot. I'll do the snapshot. There's
Yes.
traditional publishing, which if you're a new author, don't waste your time unless you already have Instagram account with 15 million people and a TV shows all booked, and they're not publishing new authors. It's just not a thing anymore.
Okay.
They don't know how to market their way out of a paper bag, if I'm honest. So traditional, just if you're a first time author, if you're already established, that's great. Then there's self publishing. And self publishing, you get to make all the decisions. Yeah, all the decisions. That's great, but you know what you don't know. So have you ever had one of those books where you hold it and you're like, I don't know what's wrong, but something's wrong? That's either the layout is off, editing, or something is off. So self publishing is great because you make all the decisions, but also the decisions are really important to where your book will be something that you're proud of or not. It's like learn on the go. It's self publishing, right? Uh, and get some just get something out. However, I would rather not have a book than have I'm not proud of with my name on it personally. And so is Vanity Publisher, Vanity Publisher like a Balboa, those companies will
Right.
print and like we're a publisher, but we'll really publish anything as long as you write us a check. Oh, now that you bought the gold package and you've already paid us, now I have no whether you ever sell a book or not. I have no interest in your success because I'm a
Right.
vanity publisher. And vanity publishers, even Balboa, not really great at it. Don't know how to do a book cover that sells. We've done we have so many call a Balboa cleanup, meaning come in, re-edit the book, new cover.
Oh,
So people
wow.
had to pay twice. They had to pay twice because they didn't get it done right the first way. So mirrors out there, buy the platinum package, and you get all of
Yeah.
this stuff. Only editing isn't one of them, and you don't notice. You buy the platinum package, and by the way, it's going to be 10 grand for editing, and you're like, but I bought the platinum package. And you're like,
Right.
there's so many bullet points though, you didn't notice editing isn't one of them. So it's an interesting thing. The fourth type of publisher is what we are, which is called a hybrid publisher.
Right.
So we don't do the things that traditional publishers do that we think are wrong, bad, and dirty. We don't do
Right.
those things, but we took the good things that publishers do, and then self-publishing. We took the good things from that, and so you still do have control over your book. You have the rights to your book. You have all of that, but you also have a professional team and can answer your questions and help you make choices, right? But ultimately you have the call. So we're very different. I call us the kind of the anti-publisher publisher because we're opposite of almost everybody.
Yeah.
And then and when you publish with us, you're a family member, not a number. You're a family member, not a number. And
Right.
any of our authors will tell you it's more like a family.
I love that. And I think that's important. And that's why it was so so many people want to write a book. And that's why I thought, you know what, I would love to have you come talk to our guests because they are they are ready to get a book out there. Either they already have one or they are looking to create one. And this information is so pertinent as to who you choose. So let's say somebody's listening to this recording
Mhm.
and they're ready for editing, or they need a book layout or a book cover, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, if you go to Leon Smith Publishing, Publishing, you go there and you'll see it says book a clarity call. You
Okay.
can book a clarity call with me. We'll get on the phone. You can tell me where you're at, and we can just from there. And I'll give you some like advice as to what would be the next steps. Not, you know. And I
Yeah,
think that's
of
different than
course.
most people as well,
Yeah.
because like I said, books we publish. So I've had people, I have this murder mystery, and will you publish it? And
Yeah.
you know who would be perfect for you, and then I introduce them to that person. So
Yeah.
so it really is clarity, that call,
Well,
clarity for the whole
I want
process.
Yeah, I want to let people know that if you do book a clarity call with Keith, make sure you fill out the questionnaire to the fullest so that he understands exactly where you want to go so he could guide you better. Okay, so it's really important that you fill out the questionnaire. Take the time, you don't need to fill it out right now and just put yes or no. Make sure you really think about your answers and fill that out so he can really guide you in the direction that you want to go, and he'll give you his unique perspective on it. It's a wonderful, wonderful call.
Yeah. And there
So
will, like I put a link in here, and there's a link probably going to be in the
yep, Tiffany, can you go ahead and put the link for
description on Facebook
Keith?
or whatever, but it's tiny URL. Yeah, tiny URL / clarity call
Perfect.
LS. Clarity call KLS. And then that'll get you there too. So anyway, it's called a clarity call. And yeah, look forward to hearing from you.
Great. So if you are in the Zoom room, you will get the VIP access to the movie link. If you would like to join us in the VIP room, you can do so at anandaforlife.com/product/RISE Summit. So I know you've seen the link in Tiffany just put the clarity call here, the link to that. And Tiffany, if you could put the VIP, if people want to join the VIP and get the movie, watch the Inside Effects, How the Body Heals Itself for free, please put that in the comments for our Facebook users. As our VIP room people already have that access. And let's see, any other freebies that you guys want, you will have access to that in the VIP, unlimited access to the replays, as well as all these links that are coming to you. So please do go ahead and join us in the VIP room so you could get all of these things. Anything you'd like to share? Anything else that's coming up or exciting or a quote? Anything you want to share? Words of wisdom.
Uh, yes, here's what I want you to know. Make a difference in this world. This world would not be the same with people in our life. They think, know that we're making a difference in their life. So a lot of times they forget to tell us that difference. And so I want to tell you that today, when you smiled at somebody and said you may have saved a life because that person thought nobody saw them, but you smiled and said hello, and but you would never know that, right? So for everyone who ever forgot to tell you that you make a difference in this world, I want to tell you on their behalf, you make a difference, and being the gift of you to all of us.
Thank you so much. That just brought chills all down my arms. And I don't know if you guys felt those chills, but I definitely did. That was so beautiful, Keith. And I want to thank you for your wisdom today. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being the hope for all of us. And I do hope that you will join us at 1 o'clock to interact with our live audience who is eager and waiting to connect with you and ask you more questions about your company and how you can help them write their book. So I'm sure that they have all these questions. You guys could put the questions in the comments so that we at least have them for later on if you have questions for Keith. So thank you so much.
You got it. Take care, everyone.
Get ready to reclaim, ignite, strengthen, and evolve with the Mind Whisperer, Donna Campbell. She is my friend and colleague, and she has impeccable energy. When you listen to her, you just feel renewed. She has risen herself and she helps those around her who are also ready to create a money mindset. Anyone here ready to do that? Is anyone here ready to create that money mindset? I think you all are. Go ahead and put in the comments money mindset. Let's get the energy flowing and welcome Donna here. Hello, Donna.
Hi, and thank you so much for having me here with you guys today. It's a pleasure, and thank you for that beautiful introduction to Paul.
You're so welcome. Today, Donna is going to share with us a topic that we can use more in our lives, the subconscious creation of money. So get ready to explore the 4 levels of money programming, unraveling how our deepest emotions intertwine with financial success. We're going to delve into the impact of negative emotional thought programming and learn strategies to rewire the subconscious for abundance. This talk offers transformative insights for anyone looking to redefine their financial mindset. And I could just see the Facebook going off, as well as our Zoom room, that everybody's ready. So, Donna, it's wonderful to have you here again. And I know our audience has been waiting to find out how they can create more green in their
Mhm.
lives.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Your
Well,
work is
for
so powerful, and I know many companies have hired you to speak everywhere.
yes.
But yeah, tell us a little bit about your journey and how did you rise to where you are today?
My background is in financial planning, and I was a managing principal of an investment firm, and I was responsible for $500 million of other people's money.
Wow.
Now, talk about stress, worry, pressure, anxiety. I had it all because I was responsible for what that money did. And my clients that were in the financial planning arena and all my financial advisors, that was the mainstream set of emotions. And after a career of 10 years, you're exhausted, you're tired. I couldn't digest food anymore. I spent 2 years in the medical community wondering what was wrong with me, only
Mm.
turning to natural holistic medicine that we uncovered. I wasn't able to digest food. But that my journey didn't stop there. What I couldn't digest in the outside of my life was I had learned about the infidelity of my marriage because I was responsible for so much of everything else. I was also a mom, had a family, and all of those things. So that piece also crumbled. And then about 2 years after that, I was left financially devastated because I was a single parent by then, raising my 2 children. And so I really started taking a good, long, hard look at myself because I was what I had in common with everything. And I lived in an ashram for a year. It's a spiritual living community to understand some of those things and started studying brainwave patterns and meditation and physics and what this all had to do with me and learned really what I do and teach today, which I call thought form energy healing. Because what we're doing is we're healing the energy underneath our thought form and aligning who we are on a conscious level with a subconscious level for instant thought creation. And it's through that alignment process, you can create more abundance in your life.
Yeah. I mean, I truly believe there are certain levels of programming that we have when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to creating our abundance, creating money, creating whatever we want in our lives. And you say there, uh, can you share a little bit more on that? Because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like we need to understand these levels.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to preface that first by saying that we are often told our thoughts create our reality, which is true. It does. But it's not just the thought, it's the energy underneath the thought. It's an emotion or a feeling that pushes that thought through our energy field to attract back to us. We have over 60,000 thoughts a day. We're only aware of about 10% of that, which is about 6,000 thoughts. So what are the other 54,000 thoughts doing? Well, they're in your subconscious, and there's emotions and feelings attached to that that you are magnetically attracting back, and you're not aware of it. We also have 4 times the negative feelings associated with our thoughts than we do positive. And we had 20% of the, we have 80%, I should say, of the same thoughts we did yesterday as we did today. And we're sending out 4 times the negativity. So that's what comes back to us. So where did all of this start? Well, your subconscious records everything from the moment you're born to the day you exit this earth as a literal event. It's just recording like a movie camera with no sound. It's just a picture. But then we assign it feelings and emotions, which get attached to the picture to create a story. And it's through that process we start creating our belief structures from those emotions and feelings on those 4 different levels. And the first level is what we call our direct experiences. This is our everyday life. You're born, what we experienced, what we learned growing up as a child. You started learning about money before you could even walk, before you could even speak, because we learn from what's called a theta brainwave pattern, and it creates neuron networks in our brain. So whatever your parents were going through, what they were experiencing started coding you subconsciously for how you were going to interact with money. And then you started learning about money as you got older. So we learn about our money beliefs from our direct experiences. The second level that we learn is on our genetic DNA level. This is what's passed down to us in our DNA from generation to generation because it gives us our first operating blueprint. An example of that is my father. He grew up during the Great Depression, and they had to save everything just in case they needed it. Well, that got passed down. I don't have to save everything now, thankfully, but my father, he's, 87. He still has the shoes he got married in, although he can't wear them, just in case he needs them. So we have a lot of beliefs that get encoded in our DNA. The third area is what I call social conditioning, and it's also our history level as well of all the things within history that affects. So an example is from the stock market crash, the Great Depression, then the news media papers came out, a nation crippled. Well, if you resonated with that belief structure, you were part of the polio epidemic. And then you had polio. And then to pull us out, we elected a president who had polio, Roosevelt, to move us forward. And those patterns still exist today. You can see that exact same pattern replicating from 2019, 2020 with the whole COVID epidemic is the exact same pattern there. And then the fourth level is on our soul level, our where we dream, or if you believe in past lives or in between lives, or because in our dreams and what we receive energetically, you can still form beliefs that way as well. So those are the 4 levels.
Wow. So if we talk about financial success, yeah, financial success is great and we all want it. And
Yes.
it's different for like all of us.
Mm-hmm.
What I noticed is that there is a lot of emotions intertwined with it. And you talk about that in our programming. So how do we work with that?
Right? That's a great question. Here's what I'm going to say. Money is emotional.
Yeah.
You are an energy field. You have an electromagnetic energy field. Energy runs up and down, in and out. And we're radio towers and receivers. We're always sending out signals, always attracting them back. Now, money is an energy form outside of us. We hear that all the time. Money is just energy. But how you think and feel about yourself is how money responds to you in life. Because money by itself doesn't do anything until you apply meaning to it. And most of the meaning we apply, we're not even aware of. So when I was in the financial planning world, we would say things like, here is your net worth. Your portfolio value is your assets appreciated, or maybe they depreciated.
Right.
Well, when I work with people, when they get down to it on that deeper soul level, doesn't matter what country or culture you're in, you say things like, I just want to know that I'm worthy of love. I
Yeah.
wanted to feel valued and appreciated as a child. No one listened to me. I wanted to understand and know that I mattered. And in the financial planning world, we'll go, oh, do you have enough money to fund XYZ goal? And if you don't feel like you're enough on the inside, guess what? You don't have enough on the outside. So a lot of the words that we use, we want to feel balanced in our lives with work and home and spirituality and our money and finances and all the different categories. But do you balance your checkbook? We want to feel at peace, but out in the world, we want a piece of the pie. So our words are synonymous there. It's like a symbiotic relationship, and really how you feel about yourself in that subconscious part on that deeper layer that we may not be aware at is what how money responds back.
Yeah. So it's basically
Absolutely.
time to rewire
Pretty
our
much.
brains, rewire how what we've learned about money from our parents, our ancestors. Because I remember my grandmother, she held on. I mean, there's a lot of people that hoard things because
Yes.
they've experienced scarcity, they've experienced poverty. And then you also hear about people around us. And, there's always either talk about money or food, right? Two
Mhm.
of the most important things in our lives.
Right.
And so, how do we rewire our thoughts around that so that we can be more mindful and more present with it? Do you have like one thing that we can do right now that would help each and every one of us to start setting that mindset about money better?
Yes, absolutely. I can teach you guys a conscious approach to become aware and make your own simple transformation. Now, know that this is just a conscious way of doing it to really get down to the subconscious reprogramming. It's a 2-day workshop that I teach, which we don't have time here for today, but I'll give you the quick band-aid if that's okay, because it'll get you through the day and it will work over time. The first thing that you want to do is like set a timer on your phone and have it go off for 2 hours and 37 minutes from the moment that you're in now. The point of that is so it doesn't hit at the top of the hour or the bottom of an hour where you might be anticipating this. We want it to go off at a random time. And then when it goes off, you're going to discover, which is really creating the awareness, how you feel in that moment. So when the timer goes off, you're going to stop whatever it is you're doing and go, how do I feel? The second part is identify. You're going to identify the feeling, not I'm okay. Oh, I'm good. Oh, I feel a little stuck. No, the emotion or feeling is stuck. Really identify it on a feeling. So that might be stress, worry, pressure, anxiety. It might be happy. It might be peacefulness. It might be bliss. Identify the emotion. Then you're going to release it, the third part, and we're going to transform it. And here's how we're going to release and transform. When we breathe in oxygen, all the good things that our body needs. And when we breathe out toxins, all the things our body doesn't need. So if we can identify the emotion, if it's lower in vibration, say stress, we might want to have the opposite of that, which would be peace. Now, if you feel something good like happiness, ask yourself what is greater than happiness and use those two words. But most of the time, you're going to find a lower vibrating emotion. You didn't even know it was there. So what you're going to do for 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes is you're going to breathe in peace and breathe out stress. Breathe in peace, breathe out stress. And at the end of about 4 or 5 minutes, you would have altered your brainwave pattern back into an alpha or an alpha theta brainwave. You're going to get more focus, more clarity, more balance. And when you go back to your tasks, say you're working on the computer, everything starts effortlessly flowing. Why? Because we just transformed and had a physiological change in the body the energy that was stopping us from moving forward, and it opens everything back up to a natural flow state. Is the stress completely gone? No, we didn't go through the reprogramming part, but if you did that exercise about 5-6 times a day for about 4 months, you could probably get that reprogramming. Or if we do the 2-day workshop, we'll show you how to actually really truly transform that, because it goes deeper than those layers of words.
How long do you think that this process would take?
What do you mean? How long
Like,
do you think it would
so
take?
I just want them to know, I want people to know that it's easy. It could take 30 seconds, right?
Oh,
To step
yes.
into these
Yeah.
steps.
Once you have this down and once you have it practiced, especially after you take the course for it, you can, for me, because I've done this for so long, when I identify what my lowest feeling is and my highest feeling is, whether I'm working on myself or another client, literally, I can take a breath. You're in a different brainwave pattern like that because you're conditioned and trained to do that. And then you can do your own reprogramming or for another person. And it happens in an instant. It really does. Because that's why it's instant creation that way.
I love it. So we have about 5 minutes or so. Would
Mhm.
you mind? Can we do it right now? Would you mind?
Do you want on you?
No, like just
Oh,
do it
just
for everybody. Yeah, just walk
okay.
them through this. Like I know we gave you guys the steps, right? Donna just gave
Mhm.
you the steps. So now let's really experience it in this moment because I feel like people are so present right now, Donna, that
Okay.
they're gonna take this back and they may or may not do it.
Got
So I
it.
really want them to experience what you are showing them
Mhm.
and they can see the difference that it makes right now so that they can unfold even more with you when they do work with you.
Okay.
So let's do this
All
because I
right. So let's have everyone just toss in the chat there. I can see it. What are 1 or 2 words that you traditionally feel with money? Imagine that it's that time of the month and you are paying your bills and you're looking at your bank account and you're looking at the bills going out. Fear, lack. Yes, most definitely. Any other words? Otherwise, we'll use those lack. Now, what does that lack really feel like? What emotion comes up when you feel lack? We say scarcity, we say fear. So does that give you anxiety? Yep, anxiety, absolutely. Frustration. Frustration's my word. I'm going to tell you that. Okay, so we're going to use anxiety and frustration in our example. What are 2 words that you would rather feel about money? How would you rather feel about it? Freedom. And if you had freedom, you would feel peace, calm, joy. All right, flow. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this exercise together. We're going to release out anxiety and lack, and we're going to put in peace and joy, just so I have a good cross section of everybody. So it looks like this. What I'm going to have everybody do is take a great big breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Close your eyes if you feel like you would like to. Most of the time I do this exercise with my eyes closed, but I'm going to keep an eye on everybody here. But you're going to take another great big breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, relaxing every cell of your body. And I want you to imagine just a brilliant, bright white light floating above your head, effortlessly floating down through the top of your crown, the top of your head, through your head, your shoulders, your arms, relaxing everything. And that same brilliant white light coming down in through your chest, imagining it going through your torso, your hips, down your legs, and out the bottoms of your feet. And then that same energy comes back up, this brilliant bright white light. And as we breathe in, we're breathing in all of the goodness. And when we breathe out, we're going to breathe out all of the things we want to release. And I want you to just sit there for a minute and focus on your breath. And as you do, when you take your next breath in, I want you to think the words peace and joy. And when you breathe out, we're breathing out through our mouth. We're going to think the words frustration and anxiety. So you're going to take that great big breath in, mentally saying the words peace and joy, breathing out fear, anxiety, frustration. Breathing in peace and joy, breathing out frustration and anxiety. You're going to breathe in and breathe out. Breathing in the peace and joy, and breathing out the anxiety and frustration. Taking another great big breath in, back out. Feel the rhythm of your breath. If your mind wanders, just focus back on those words. If the words disappear and you're just in your breath, that is okay also. Taking in another great big breath in and back out. Feeling present all around you. Taking in another great big breath in. And whenever you're ready, just open your eyes. Take another great big breath in, back out, and open your eyes. So start to finish, that was maybe 2 minutes of the actual meditation part from the beginning. There, so if you do that and stay there for another 3, 4, 5 minutes, you're already feeling the effects now. Usually for me, right when I hit minute 3, minute 4, the words are gone. I'm just breathing and I go into a deeper theta alpha brainwave.
I can't wait to try this later on with more time and more silence. And, oh, this was wonderful. Thank you, Donna, for walking us through it. It's always a
Welcome.
beautiful experience when we can do it with our mentor. So, hey guys, how are you guys feeling? Is anybody awake?
I know, come back, come back.
Everybody come back. We've got all these people online. We've got all these people in the Zoom room. I just want to make sure everybody's doing okay. Just comment, how are you feeling? How are things going? Tell us no. Okay, loved it. Good. Oh yeah. Wow, I breathed in sunlight, rainbows, butterflies, and ultimately a
Oh, I
joy
love it.
of golden coins. Oh, how awesome. Thank you, Donna.
I like that.
I do too. I do
We
too.
can have some fun variations to the meditation.
Exactly, because it's always going to be a different experience, right? Every time we
Absolutely.
do it.
And
And
your words are different every time.
yeah, and I think we can release a lot of layers and a lot of programs, and this is awesome. So I got a question for you.
Uh-huh.
That what's one thing you would tell your younger self about money from what you know now?
That is a great question. And I would say embrace it,
Yeah,
love it, and trust the process. So often we are programmed to say, how many of you have ever gotten like a gift from a friend and you're like, oh, you shouldn't have?
exactly.
You just refused your abundance. And we're all programmed that way because it's better to give than to receive. But if we're all giving, then who's going to receive? And it's okay to receive. So embrace it. It's okay. And then trust the process.
Yeah, and I love that example because in our Indian culture, every time the elders will give us money, especially if they're coming to our house for the first time, or if they haven't seen us in a while, and if we visit our family members, the elders will give the kids money. Now they don't give us because we're adults now, but they'll give our
Mhm.
kids. And it's funny because the kids, you know, they would be like, no, 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 it's okay when you really want it, right?
Yeah.
Inside, you're like, oh, I really want this. But you got to act like, oh, no. And so,
Mhm.
because that is how we're culturally programmed, Donna.
Yes. Mhm.
And so it's interesting. So I taught them, I said, you know what? Instead of saying no, what's the point? Take out that middle part and
Mhm.
just accept it and say thank you.
Mhm.
And when they started
Absolutely.
to do that, it was interesting because the other person, they're so used to hearing no, no, no. And you're already programmed to answering that. And like, no, no, it's okay. Just take it. Right. And they were like, oh, they took my money, you know, like it's a shock.
Yeah,
Right. Wow. They're,
absolutely.
and so
Absolutely.
I think it's time to change our actions and
Mhm.
reactions to money and how we
Mhm.
respond.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now.
Because it ties directly into how you think and feel about yourself.
Exactly. So thank you so much, Donna, for being here.
Thank
And if you
you.
are in the Zoom room, you have the VIP access that this will allow you to grab Donna's free VIP offer for those of you who are on Facebook and you would like to become a VIP guest in the Zoom room. You can take advantage of joining us each day in this beautiful energy and connecting with our speakers right here in the Zoom room and receive all the freebies, all of the recordings, 1 hour each day to connect with our speakers, as well as have the musical experience. And let me not forget that you do have, again, the unlimited access to the replays if you are missing out on the lives. And this will allow you to come back and experience these beautiful techniques and tools that our speakers are providing for us. Now, any last words or anything that's coming up for you that you would like to share with people?
Yes. When I went through all of those difficult times that I talked about, transitioning from the financial planning career into the healing world, I actually wrote a mantra that was kind of given to me, guidance wise. And that is trust and you will see, believe and you will know, have faith, all is well, follow your heart, and spirit will lead you.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. I want to thank you
Thank
for your wisdom
thank
again.
you.
It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much. And we hope to see you at 1 o'clock.
Thank you.
I don't know about you guys, but it's getting hot in here. So I am going to, before I bring the next speaker on, and Tiffany, let's see. All right, wonderful. All right, how is everyone doing so far? It's been amazing, right? I mean, time is just flying by. Please put it in the chat and share with us how things are going, what's coming up for you, and how these guests are just, these speakers are just allowing us to flow in our body, in our present moment, in our lives, how we're going to create that flow, right? Because the next guest I'm about to introduce, I can't wait. Lisa Gar. Get ready to reclaim, ignite, strengthen, and evolve with Lisa Gar. Lisa shares powerful insights through her show called The Aware Show podcast, a transformational show about natural health, cutting edge science, personal growth, and spirituality since 1999. On a mission to bring practical awareness to everyday life, Lisa is going to share with us today how to lean into a new story. How many of you can use a new story? I know I can. How much energy are you funding into defending your old story? my mother, my spouse, my children, my job. You fill in the blank. Maybe it's time to stop running from your old story through every area of your life and become aware of a new story. Leaning into your old story and the pearls of wisdom you gained along the way will help you transform your new story into your purpose. And it is time with Lisa Garr. Welcome, Lisa.
Hello, hello, hello. It's so wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for including me in this love fest. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's such an honor and pleasure to have you here. And you're so real. Like, to be honest, the awareness that you bring to others to help people shift their story, because every one of us is going through something on some level.
Yes.
Right? There's not a day that goes by. So first of all, what is your story? How did you come to rise, reclaim, ignite, strengthen, and evolve by shifting your own story to what you wanted to create and what you have created today?
Well, thank you. I mean, first of all, everyone is running their stories at any given time during the day. You've got the story with the family and the relationships, and you've got the story with the job and the money. And we're running our stories unconsciously, because we forget that our unconscious runs the show. And the idea that I love to talk about is to live at affecting your life, not at the effect of, but actually affecting your life, where you are impacting your decisions and you are making choices, conscious choices. The result of living at the effect of your life is living as a result of the unconscious that's coming in, running the show all day long, the sabotage patterns, the grief patterns, the you name it. It's the fear patterns. It's all there. And so, yes, we have those. We're wonderful children that we go through our childhood and we get impacted in different ways. And because we're so sensitive, of course, those make imprints in our lives. So the aware whole show is about becoming aware of those patterns that run your life, those stories that run your life. And I have listened to over 20 plus years of broadcasting. I've listened to thousands and thousands of stories, and people tell their stories. And what I've heard the most out of all of these thousands, 5,500 interviews I've done, is that when somebody becomes aware of their story and they utilize that story for healing, they heal themselves and they heal others. And boom, there comes the purpose. They just sink right in. The purpose arises from that experience. So telling your story, becoming aware of your story, it does three very powerful things. You heal yourself every time you tell it. You are aware of it. My story was, I was running multiple businesses at one time and decided to get into mountain bike racing with friends and ended up in this California state championship, as you do. And I somehow was in second place overall before the finish line. And I crashed, hit my head, ended up at the bottom of a ravine and had to get airlifted out. In that moment, I realized, in this incredible experience of, I don't know if it was the lifting of the helicopter, but I lifted into a place of complete, total oneness, total consciousness, an experience I've never felt before, but I still get chills talking because it's as if it happened yesterday. When I realized we're not separate from, our parts aren't separate. Humanity isn't separate. When we look at the oneness of all that is and all that we are and all that we are connected to nature and human beings and the earth and love, that's where I realized, oh my goodness, that all this effort I was going through was so much, I don't know what it was, fear-driven, probably, got an overachiever. That was me, sign me up. And I realized all manifestation happens in that space of oneness, of guidance. And so I started telling that story, synchronistically ended up on a radio show, never planned on being a broadcaster. It was synchronous. I was meditating and I realized, I really need to tell this I really need to connect the world with people out there that can heal people. And I was getting great, incredible help from healers and psychics. And it's an amazing path that when you really truly follow your purpose. And I ended up getting to on a radio station and telling everyone healing is possible. Here's this wonderful psychic. Here's this wonderful medium. Here's this incredible acupuncturist, and they're doing amazing things in the world. Why don't you learn from them? And then it was Wayne Dyer and Deepak Chopra and all these amazing people that in our world that have messages to tell. And that sunk me into my purpose, because that is exactly what story does. You, as you're watching and listening to this, you had an experience, many multiple experiences, and you learned from those experiences. Well, what were the pearls of wisdom you took from that? How did it heal you? How will it heal someone else? And how does it sink you into your purpose? And that's what story does. And that's my mission, is to help people understand you have a story inside of you. Don't waste it. It's yours. It's your actual gem. It is your own personal blueprint. Nobody else has that story. So why don't we look at it? Why don't we utilize it? Why don't we lean into it? Sure, that was difficult. Oh my God, you wouldn't have learned as much as you learned unless it was challenging. But did you rise above it? Did you rise to the occasion of it? Did you learn something? And so there's this visualization that I do of a timeline where you can actually look back into your life and get all the pearls and wisdom from your life and sprinkle it forward into your life and pay it forward. And that's how you create a new story. That's how you no longer live from the old patterns. So sabotage pattern, huge in my family. My parents and of course, they were coming out of the Depression and they lived into this self-made world. And my father's a brilliant orthopedic surgeon, and my mother is an interior designer and worked in the 50s and 60s, just amazing people. Because of their patterns, cyclical family patterns, those sabotage snakes kept getting everyone in the family. And I observed it as a child. And I started to create it as an adult. And then guess who else started to create it? My daughter. No more. I looked at that and went, oh my goodness, this is, kids don't do what you say, they do what you do. So I became super aware of this sabotage pattern. And my brother and I had a conversation one day, and I've worked with a lot of incredible people around patterns and trauma and so forth, looked at my pattern and said, no, I am no longer doing that. I am no longer impacting my future generations, her future generations, and other people's generations. It's absolutely time to be aware of that and change that story. Don't want to live from that story anymore. So just an example of, patterns that run your life and old stories that run your life, and how you become aware of them, and then you change them and you allow yourself the imagination and the permission to move forward with the new story. And you do that primarily by impacting others. I feel that's the clearest, fastest way to healing yourself, is to help others.
I believe that, because you know what, when I stepped into energy healing, I was in pharmaceutical sales before. Yeah. And when I stepped into energy healing, and as I'm working with my clients, I'm like, wait a second, that's a revelation for me as well, because the information as a conduit of light, then that information is coming to me as well. And so it's beautiful how we do learn. And I love that you said that, is by helping others.
Yes, I think I heard Oprah say that first when, and I'm sure many have said that, but the greatest way to self-healing is to help others. And I've experienced that through the story coaching I do. As I listen to people's stories, I help them see the gem in it, and then how many people they can impact going forward. If you just impact one person, it's worth it. Because you pass on your wisdom, your legacy, your learnings. How else is humanity supposed to rise?
And I think a lot of times we're ashamed of our stories, so we don't want to share them, You know what I mean? Because I know I went through that process, and I know like many of our viewers might feel like, well, I don't want to share that. That's embarrassing. Or when I look back on it, I just want to forget about it. Right.
Right.
And you probably hear that all the time from your
But that denies a whole part of you.
Exactly.
That basically takes this giant beast and shoves it into a closet. And guess what that does? It comes out someday.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it actually reacts against you.
Yeah.
And so the more you embrace that part of her, that part of you, and I sometimes say, you know, she needs to be cradled. She needs to be loved.
Yeah.
She just needs to be seen. She needs to be heard. It is the number one thing I hear of women across the world.
Yeah.
I have coached women in Saudi Arabia and Israel and all over the US. And the one thing I hear from every woman is, I want my voice to feel heard. And the second thing I hear is, I'm terrified of my voice being heard.
Wow. Yes.
Terrified.
Yes.
Because we're not taught to speak up. We're not taught to have our voices be heard. We're not taught to have a voice. We're not taught to have an opinion. But now our future generations are, because they're being raised by mothers and grandmothers like us.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, please. Teach that generation to have their voice. Teach that generation to feel free. They're going to swing to the other side for a little while with all of the voices being heard. And
it's a little scary when you tell a 16-year-old that you can use your voice.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome, though. I mean, it's wonderful. And then they get to have their voices heard with each other. Yes. Yes.
I have taught my girls that. And yes, sometimes I'm not happy as to what's bouncing out of their mouths, but I'm so proud of them, you know, for using their voice, because that was not me. And so you're right. All those two things that you said. And I know many of the women and maybe even the men relate exactly to what we're talking about today and how to bring more awareness. But here's the thing, you also had a second accident that brought even more awareness.
That was the second piece. So yes, the first, I can't believe I'm talking about it. This was very recent. This was 8 months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so the accident I had when I had to get airlifted out of that mountain was that experience of oneness. And then 20, however many years later, I'm on a bike again, which it's a very dangerous sport. But look, I was on an e-bike in the back of a pack of people, and the people way in front of the pack crashed and the bikes filed towards me. And it was unbelievable how injured I got. I broke both of my arms. Wow. And I just couldn't believe, I was embarrassed that I was in that position. Yeah, stay away from bikes. It's the one thing that, you know, that I love so much because of the freedom and it's just my meditation is cycling, but I'm sticking without any people any longer. But I found myself in that position again, because somehow when you stand for humanity and you really put yourself out there to really be a name or a voice for healing, as all of us do, you sign up on a dotted line that says, I need to walk my talk.
Yeah.
I need to walk my talk.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. I once again had become complacent with my voice not being heard over here and giving up that conversation over there and dropping my energy over in that bucket and thinking, oh, that's okay. I'm just going to not have that conversation with my mom because I can't deal with that right now. I'm just not going to have that conversation with my husband because I just got to move on. Nope. I see what my daughter's doing, but it's okay. We're going to.
You just read my whole mind.
All of us. Oh my goodness. It's like this when you learn the lesson and you talk about the lesson, if you don't have it at a cellular level, life will just show it right to you, because I signed up for that. And so guess what I got to do? I had no arms. I had no use of either arm. So that conversation of, honey, I really need your support more in my marriage. Guess what that was caused? My husband supported me 1,000%. I wasn't letting him. He was there for me the whole time. Was just my strong self, you know? And so that beautifully rebalanced that relationship and beautifully rebalanced the relationship with my mom and my daughter and business going forward. And is anybody in the middle of a life shift right now, a business shift? Anyone? Anyone? Yeah. Okay. Who basically isn't? And I do feel that we're going through such a still an impact from when the world shut down in 2020. I mean, that was an unprecedented, very holy event. Actually, if you look back on it, and I've broken that down to when the world paused, it was an incredibly spiritual moment when the world paused. And I remember watching this beautiful video. It was live, and it was on an Easter Sunday, and it was um it was on the steps of the Duomo, and it was an incredible performance of Hallelujah. And they showed images around the world of the Champs-Elysees empty, and the street at the beaches empty, and the animals coming back on, and humanity was absent from the tread that had been put on our earth. And it was an absolutely stunning moment. It was, if you looked into the beauty of it, it was beautiful. Yes, there was a terrible pandemic going on and terrible things were happening. But if you looked at the stillness of that moment, it was holy. We are reacting to that now. 4 years later, we have not unpacked the purpose of that moment. And the purpose, everything has started to shift and the ripple effects are happening now.
Yeah.
Businesses have completely changed. People's lives, relationships have completely changed. And we, as soon as we catch up to that and align ourselves with that vibration, we got to lean into the change, look at the stories, and be okay with the change. Embrace it, lean into it, because friends, it's happening. It's happening. So, okay, life is happening. Change is happening. What's possible? What's possible? And I live in a place of possibilities. It is not always easy, because when one thing shuts down or one thing changes, you think that's devastating and you want to ruminate on that for a while. And there's a possibility in another location. Yeah. And sometimes you just have to change your state in order to find it. And changing your state is changing your story, changing and leaning into the new you. It doesn't matter what your age. My mother still works at 83 because she likes to keep her brain active.
Yeah.
She's an interior designer and she keeps, a few clients here and there. And she just constantly, I just love that there's always a possibility around the corner, no matter what. Yeah. No matter what age, no matter what age, financial situation, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Technology, yes, of course, that's advancing. Lean into it. Where can you show up? I coached an amazing artist, and I'm telling you, her work was so deep. She didn't want to teach it. It was too deep to even teach. And so what she did is she put her artwork on her LinkedIn profile, and people started collaborating with poetry to her art. And she created a community on a LinkedIn profile of art. I mean, everything is possible. It just takes a little bit of a change.
Yeah.
A lot of change.
I feel like, and anybody is capable of that change, right? Anybody, as long as, I feel like I started to recognize that I needed to change when I said, I need to change. Like, I had to talk to myself about it. And I need to change myself. I need to change my story, because I was a very angry and controlling person. I had to have control of everything. And it wasn't feeding mentally, physically, in all ways, in my relationships with my family or even outside of that. And I had to tell myself, I didn't have to convince myself. I just had to let myself know it's time for a change and I'm ready to change my story. And when I made that pact with the universe, that's when opportunities started opening up. That's when I let go, the not good enough or worthy or deserving. And that old story just started to dissolve. I mean, do you feel like a lot of your clients and the women that you work with do feel the same way, where they're just feeling not good enough to even change their story?
It is, yes. And you described so many people that I work with because, yes, we're overachieving and control are sometimes misrepresented as creativity.
Yeah.
We're incredibly creative. I mean, as women, whether or not you've had children, you have the ability to create bodies with your body. Okay, we've been given the creative gene. We've been given the most amazing gift to be able to co-create life with our bodies. That's an innate, amazing, intuitive gift that all, that men also contribute, of course, to that. So we all have this creative spark in us. I think that control and overachieving is just another word for misdirected creativity. I think if you actually look at that and you really bring that creative flow and that ability to create, look at how capable we are. And so you can create yourself out of any mess. You can create yourself out of any situation you need to be resilient from. You can co-create your next step in through any change that's happening. And yes, someone was mentioning here that they were in the entertainment industry. Entertainment industry is completely changing. I've been in that industry for 30 years and I've seen it was bulletproof for so many years. Entertainment was always a go-to for people. Well, it's diffused now. It's actually dispersed. You can do entertainment through online streaming or through social networks or through, broadcast television, not so much anymore. And film is changing and morphing. So we look at this bulletproof industry, that's something that provided through the 20s, 30s, entertainment through the Depression that was really bulletproof. You look at this industry now and look at how decentralized it is. And it's actually wonderful. That means there's a place at the table for everyone. Use your voice. It's actually one of the most powerful ways to have your voice feel heard. And it doesn't matter how many followers you have. It doesn't matter. You get on anything. You can just get on Zoom, record your story, record an interview, have conversations with your girlfriends, and then put them up on a podcast. And people will hear what they need to hear when they need to hear it.
Yeah. Love that. I love it. Are there any last words of wisdom that you have that you want to share with us?
Oh my goodness, I've been ranting here, and I okay. So yes, I wanna just mention this. A lot of what I teach does talk about the Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, and I want you to just all take a look at your life for a moment and look at how many times you've been through this call from the ordinary world to something extraordinary, something possible, something new, something interesting. And you find friends and foes and mentors and you learn all these great things. And then something crashes, something happens. You go down into that deep cave, you find your innermost self and you really do the inner work. And you come out with solutions and ideas and that elixir and you call it forward in the world and you say, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I want to do. You find new friends and foes and mentors, and then you go through another learning curve and hit back into that cave. How many times does this happen in your life? We go through these ebbs and flows in life. And what does this teach you? First of all, it teaches you, yes, you can find the elixir again. Yes, you can come back out of the cave again. Yes, you can come down from the valley onto the mountaintop again. And it is possible. Look at how many times you've done it in your life. What makes you think it isn't possible any longer? Age, environment change, COVID? No, you can find it again. And that is my biggest message to people is you lean into that story, that past, you look and you extrapolate the pearls of wisdoms you've learned along the way and you pay it forward. Sinks you right into your purpose.
That just gave me goosebumps. And I see all the hearts and the smiles going up on Facebook. So guys, yes, please continue to give lots of love and smiles to Lisa Gar, our beautiful guest today. And if you want to join us in the Zoom room, please do join our VIP access. This will allow you to grab Lisa's free offer that she has shared with us. And for those of you who are on Facebook, the link for the VIP is in Tiffany will go ahead and share that with you so that you could join us each day for this wonderful event right here in Zoom room, front and center row, and receive all the freebies in addition to the 1 hour afterwards with music and interviews with our guests. So come and join us. And so I want to thank you, Lisa, so much for being here with us today. And thank you for all that
Absolutely.
you do, and thank you for bringing awareness through your show.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll connect soon. Okay.
Yes, definitely. Thank
All
you.
right.
Okay, so this brings us to the end of day 2. If you want to join us in the next 5 minutes in the Zoom room, be sure to click on the link that is provided to you, anandaforlife.com/product/rise summit. And you can join for $97. Half of the proceeds will go to our Children's Scholarship Fund at VRX Foundation. And so we want you to come and join us and have a blast with us as we move into the Q&A and some fun time. Today, we're going to be doing some meditation and processes. And so come and join us, and we're going to get started in the next few minutes. So we will see you there on the other side. The replay for today will be up on Facebook for the next 7 days, as well as YouTube for the next 7 days. If you would like the replay along with the gifts that we are giving from 3 of our sponsors or collaborators, that will be given in the replay. Okay, so look at your replay email. A replay email is sent to you each evening as we get these videos processed. And so they will be sent to you in the evening. So please look for your replay email. Look in spam, just in case it goes to spam. But a replay will be given to you, and that will be up for 7 days. Okay? Thank you so much, all of you, for joining here today live on Facebook and YouTube. We will hopefully see you in the Zoom room. Okay. Are we done with the live streaming?